Hi, my name is Young Chon, and I'm the CEO of doomoolmori. And let me introduce you our new product, Bulileo. First, the backgrounds. Life is changing really fast, right? So income is being polarized, and our jobs are changing really fast. So investment, or the art of allocating outside resources, is becoming more important every day. Simple investment solutions do exist, like passive investments, where you buy and hold for 5, 10 years, and you expect a certain amount of profit, right? They're simple and easy, but they're generally slow. The problem is for the enterprising investors, those people who are less patient, those people who want to achieve more. These are people who are more adventurous. They want to take more risk using their own personal perspectives, right? So no solutions exist for them other than doing it themselves, doing it yourself. They have to read hundreds of books and articles. They have to research for news and information, strategies, indicators, and they have to come up with their own methodology that works. And it takes a lot of time and effort. The core of their desire is wanting to capture some kind of an investment opportunity that comes up in front of them, that arises. But actually designing investment strategies is really hard. It's a professional job. It takes years of training, and tens of thousands of people fail at this every day. I know this because I was a professional trader, and I've seen very many people failing, losing their hard-earned money every day. So looking inside what professional traders would do, professional processes, right? First, you come up with an idea, an investment thesis, we'll call them. And you have to do analysis of scenarios, like the best case, the normal case, worst case. And you have to optimize for a portfolio that takes account for timing, weight, all these sorts of factors. And then you go on generating rebalancing signals that has to do with, say, indicators, profit, loss, risk. You have to crunch all these numbers and data and come up with a plan, with a calculated execution. And this is really hard. And I mean, nobody really wants to do this their own, except for people like us. So as a team of investment traders, quantitative traders, we've decided to do this all instead for the customers. So the customers would choose the idea, the concept, and we would just package it all, and we deliver investment solutions optimized for each scenarios or stories. I'll give you an example. In year 2008, we had a global economic crisis, right? This is a simple example, but it was a terrible time. So if you're holding on to S&P or stocks, you would have ended up with around a minus 46% loss. Instead, you could have hedged. If you're expecting this kind of a scenario or crisis to happen, you could have held on to the safest assets like treasury bonds or gold, and would have used this to earn a 21% profit instead of the minus 46%. And in terms of total assets, that's almost twice ending up, right? So I'm not saying we're building the holy grail of algorithms that can counter all kinds of factors in. It's the opposite. We're trying to say that if you concentrate on special occasions and build algorithms around those scenarios, it's much more effective, it's easier to communicate, and it's much more fun as well. So we are trying to build multiple scenarios, and we are launching 3 next month, but we are trying to launch 50 next year. Some of them are very interesting, like say Trump is getting re-elected next year. What kind of portfolio should he manage at that time? So all the scenarios have a specific starting date and an ending date. So they're like modules. And like a true wrap account, you can mix these modules into thousands of combinations and come up with your own customized account. And it's just so much smarter, better, but it's also more fun. To summarize, we are managing your investments professionally using these quantitative products, right? So investment, we give you investment suggestions based on global events, case by case, individually. We monitor change of plans if necessary. We signal these exact orders to you via your mobile app, and we help you place these orders on global ETFs listed on US. So it's much easier to place these orders in. It's more fun. doomoolmori has launched a product before, Bulileo, And we are already a leading robo-advisor firm, managing over $70 million in terms of US dollars, and having more than 3,500 paying customers right now. We have been growing fast. And Bulileo will launch next month, so see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, and we'd love to hear more about your business model and how you're generating revenue from those customers.
Right, so business model, you pay for each scenario in advance, and it's around 0.5% to 1% per scenario. So it depends on how you mix up these models. So the average would be around 0.8%. But we get the money in advance. So say, so it's a 2-year scenario, you would get, say, 2% in advance as a revenue.
When you put new scenarios in, I guess it should be sometimes coming from the form and correlation between scenarios and result. But sometimes new scenarios can have no evidence that can affect the result in portfolio. So that's usually where AI comes in and big data. And how would you approach to apply new scenario into the platform strategy?
Well, if I heard the question correctly, my answer would be that you can't really use enough evidence in financial data, because sometimes if you're doing really high frequency trades, you will get like 300, 400 same occasions, but usually global macroeconomic events don't happen that often, right? So Trump re-election will be the first time ever, but we can use educated guesses. Professional fund managers can approach it in an educated manner so that some kind of sectors would be affected more by Trump re-election or vice versa, right? So we wouldn't say this is rocket science. It's not perfect, but it's just so much better than the individuals doing it themselves without getting the proper training.
What alternative data providers or data brokers will you be using so that your data can be trustworthy for the consumers?
Well, I think we call our team quantamental, so it's a mixture of quants and fundamental. So it's more like it's more of contents and strategy than just pure data and alternative data and rocket science. So we package it. We package this with card news and make stories very vivid and alive. So before that, we try to convince our customers that please never follow stories or news, because it just never works in the individual level. But if you approach it as professionals, like sort of like a hedge fund product, it's just much more efficient. But we do have a lot of uncertainties inside it. We're just trying to hedge. Put a lot of hedging mechanics inside it. Yes. It doesn't answer your question, but.
Any final questions?
Do you focus on simplicity to the customers, or more better performance in portfolio?
Until now, the recent product, Bulileo, was focused on simplicity, but we've really found out that customers, the enterprising investors, want really complicated and sophisticated solutions that are just mind-boggling, right? They just don't want to do the research themselves, but they just want to use these sophisticated techniques. So that's why we are focusing on in this product.
And what would be your plan for integration with other financial investments, like typical 401k, retirement, Roth IRAs, different global investments?
Right, so Bulileo, the product is focused on 401k, the pension plans. So after we capture these enterprising investors, we want to integrate the two together so that they can both go very aggressive or conservative at the same time in one platform.
We're out of time. Thank you so much. We're nearing the end with only 3 companies.